Hello, hello. This is our Smarter Live Digest. We do it every week. Before everyone is joining, we are broadcasting to several channels, including LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Please let us know where you are hearing from us, where you're listening from us right now. We would be curious to see what our most engaging platform is. I will remind our listeners of that later when more of you are joining us. But let me start with a quick introductions. I'm Anne Smarty. I'm an SEO co-founder of an SEO agency in New York. And with me today is our social media director, April. Hi, April.
Hi everyone. Thanks for coming.
We do have problem broadcasting to Instagram, so scratch Instagram. Every other platform, please. I guess we should be somehow able to list all the social media channels we are broadcasting from on our StreamYard settings, so that people could join from other platforms as well, or check us out from the descriptions. Talking about these broadcasts, they happen every Wednesday, same time, 1 p.m. EST. And here we discuss everything hot and trending that's going on in digital marketing and provide some advice, solutions. I've been in SEO for more than 20 years, so I've seen most of it. I know behind the scenes things that are happening with Google. I may guess why they're doing what and what the background of that. At least I have some, not, I don't know everything, of course, but I have some well-educated theories on everything that's going on in SEO and can guess where it's going to. So if you are lost in the SEO updates, if you don't know what's going on and what the future of it, join us weekly, ask questions. We will try to figure this out together and research it together and see if we were right or not. I do have a newsletter. It lives on my personal domain and smarty.com. Very easy to access and subscribe. I announce topics for every week's live streams in those newsletters, and I also provide references, screenshots, and more context to everything that we're going to talk about. So please subscribe so that we are all informed on what's going on every week. Today's topic is very timely, like we always try to do. It's about future proofing your SEO strategy, how to get through those scary Google updates with fewer losses so that they are not as dramatically impacted by anything that Google decides to introduce in the algorithm. We will talk about that just in a minute. Right now, huge news for SEO community. Google discontinued its cache. So there is no longer any way to access Google's cache of any page. Why we're so upset about is that I personally used it all the time. For my clients, for their competitors, if you don't have access to Search Console, it was almost the only way to tell definitely if Google can access or can see any element on the page. If there is any hidden text, if there are hidden links, how Google exactly can see the page as text as well. It was a great tool for SEO and has been a great tool for us for many years, and probably the only tool that I've been using for as long as I can remember. I was an SEO, I've been using it. So it's going to be a little bit of adjustment for us SEOs. Yes, there is a similar tool inside Search Console where you can get Google's snapshot of a page and see what exactly they see and how they render JavaScript or CSS. It's very useful, but I don't always have access to websites that I'm researching. Search Console and Google Cache was definitely the tool that I was using on a daily basis. If you have solutions, if you have tools that you've been using for similar purposes, please post them in comments. I will be checking all of my social media channels after this live event to see if there are any suggestions, and I will definitely provide some going forward when I myself have reliable tools that can replace that great tool. Google Cache was valuable because it was coming directly from Google. I know there are tons and tons of search crawlers out there, but they are all third party. It's not, they're not as reliable as something that comes right from Google. So I will be sharing some alternatives going forward, not today because that happened yesterday. Something always happens just before my live stream. So I don't have time to research and understand and digest that news when it happens overnight. I do need some time to be helpful and actionable for you. I have to research and see what other people are saying. So probably next week we will discuss any alternatives to Google Cache and how to use Search Console for similar purposes. So next week, please join us to share some ideas about that. Now back to our topic. Google has been doing updates for as long as we can remember. It's nothing new. But what is different from its recent algorithm updates is that there is no one tactic they are attacking. It's the combination of everything and anything you can think of. Going back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we had Penguin, we have Panda, we have all the updates that names even escape me, but it's definitely Panda and Penguin were not new, anything new. We've been going through updates for years with Google, but they had clear solutions. If you were hit with Panda, you would know that you have an abundance of spammy content on your site or spammy pages on your site with very few signals, and you have to downsize. If you were hit with Penguin, you knew it was about your link building tactics. Yes, some of them were retrospective, like they could hit for all backlinks that you had built many years ago when it was fine, but your the Penguin would still hit you, and you would still need to go back years and years to your previous link building tactics, or even previous owners link building tactics, and clean that up. It was very time-consuming, challenging, dramatic. People were losing jobs over that, but at least we knew the solutions to everything that Google was doing, and they would be open to telling us how exactly we can recover. Well, that stopped about, I would say, 4 years ago, when they started those core algorithm updates that they would not tell us what they were doing and why. You could have lost your Google traffic over an update and had no idea what was wrong, because it could be the combination of things. It could be in search intent shift, what they call it, when they just changed their treatment of a particular search query that was driving traffic to your site. So that had nothing to do with you. It could be user experience on your site. It could be anything. And you would not know exactly what until you start fixing everything. It is unfortunate with core updates. I didn't see a lot of sites that would have lost 90% of that traffic, though. Usually it's like up to 50, depending on the core update and your ranking profile and the size of your site. But it was unfortunate and fixable, though. With helpful content update, which is now part of core update, which makes it much worse, a lot of people have lost 90% of that traffic, 95% of that traffic. And because it's now part of core updates, I assume future core updates will be more dramatic than they used to be, because now they have that helpful content classifier included into them, which is pretty angry. If it hits a website, it hits the whole thing. So today, I would like to talk about how to ensure that your site can go through those updates without as much damage. Yes, you would still be impacted. You still risk losing something even if you future-proof everything that you are doing, but it will be not as dramatic. And that is based on our experience with our own clients, with what other people in SEO community revealed to us, their research, their observations. They are very similar to what I'm experiencing as well when I'm looking at our clients and our own websites. So none of that is easy. It is not focusing on quick gains. The first fundamental behind consistent SEO strategy is not trying to focus on quick gains. Like, oh, this keyword has low difficulty and it has a search volume of whatever, so I will start writing content only about focusing on these keywords. Those are quick gains. Oh, those are easy backlinks, so that's all I'm going to do is just get those easy backlinks. So it's not this type of strategy creates that vulnerable ranking profile that can be wiped out from search overnight. If you are doing that, but you are making money from ads and you are always ready to lose that website and switch to something else, go ahead. Don't change anything. I know there are a ton of people in SEO community that flip like this. They earn money for a year from a website based on those quick gains, then they lose it to penalties or updates and create new websites and keep making that money. It's okay. I don't want to say that they are doing something wrong, but if you are serious about your site, your business, you don't want to lose that traffic, you don't want to change your website, you have some type of customer base or community around your site, and you don't want to lose much of your visibility, then future-proofing your strategy is the way to go. So how do you do that? First of all, focus on brand building backlinks. You never stop building links. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it's sometimes not clear how to do that, and you have to face failure in many cases when you don't hear back from people. You get rejection. Sometimes it's heartbreaking, but the beauty of brand-driven backlinks is that you are also building your brand, and that stays with you forever. How do you do that? You focus on the easiest thing is to do what I did once, is focus on your personal brand, because it is easier to network, it is easier to make connections. When you are a public representative of your business, you're very tightly connected to your business. You have like very obvious representation on your site that this is who stands behind that brand. So it's easier and much less time consuming and much more enjoyable to become a personal brand first before you transition that reputation to your business. That's what I did once. The beauty of that is that with my personal brand, I can switch from project to project, and my brand switches with it. So it's not just future proofing your SEO, it's also being able to create more income, more businesses with some background that is your personal brand. Participate in interviews, be on social media, whatever your peers or influencers are, be there. Talk to them, be open to all kinds of opportunities. Is it an expert roundup? Is it a webinar? Is it a little conference or a huge conference? I would really start with the local conferences because they are much cheaper and much cozier. So you can make friends there and make even partners there. So be open to any networking opportunities that you can find. Comment on those blogs that are technically maybe even your competitors, but being there and making partners, making friends, knowing your peers, helping each other. You don't always have to go for influencers who are very hard to collaborate with because they are busy and they are spoiled. But finding those active peers to also need help, collaborating with them, participate in industry awards. I hate them too. Trust me, I despise being nominated, because that you have to wait to ask for votes, you have to beg for votes. I don't like it, but that works. That puts you into on one page with known entities, with known brands. Google knows those people, and now you're featured next to them and you're linked next to them. And that's how all those associations are created. Create social media ads, because that's how branded search happens. People see an ad on Facebook, maybe they will not buy from you, but they will Google you. And that's how Google knows, oh, this is something I didn't know. This has to be an entity, and accumulating all those signals. And we do brand driven link building through linkable assets, through infographics and visuals. We promote them on Reddit. That results in a huge spike in an interest for a brand. People also start searching for it. People start discussing it on social media, including Reddit. And they send links as well, which is why we call it brand-driven link building. So combining those two, branding and link building, is the best way to go. There are many ways to do that, not just what we provide. We always recommend that clients should be adding other things as well: press releases, journalist outreach, which we also do, broadcasting news about you, new partnerships, new conferences you're going. Depending on what you're doing, finding more ways for people to hear about your personal brand and also link to you. Preferably, not all of those branding efforts will result in links, but it's still valuable. So this is first, and that should never end. There is no end to that process, because Google loves fresh signals. The moment you stop, your visibility may be sliding down. And the second one, stop going crazy about keywords. Your every page on your site doesn't have to target a very high search volume keyword. Yes, keywords are very valuable. When you do keyword research, you get content ideas. You get ideas for keyword gaps, like which products I'm missing, which product categories I'm missing. That is great. Keyword research is great, but only focusing on keywords, especially those keywords that you find over at Ahrefs or SEMrush, that is what creates a very vulnerable ranking portfolio. Yes, you will rank for some of those keywords eventually. Maybe 1 or 2 pages of your site will rank for those high search volume, and that will be, your traffic will go through the roof. But imagine how easy it is to lose those keyword positions. First of all your competitors know about those keywords as well as you do, because they are using the same tools. It's the same public data. So you're not standing out in any way. And it will be too easy for them to create something fresher, newer, more better, or maybe they have better backlink profiles, so they will be easier to rank, and they overrank you. So even without updates, that could result in a huge loss of traffic if 1 or 2 pages of your site is all that drives traffic to your brand. So create more than that. Ask your customers. Create content that you find on social media is hot, and people want to know those answers. Even if you cannot match those questions to high search volume keywords, it's okay if you start talking to your audience, to your target audience or existing customer base. If you network on topical forums or discussion boards, you will find those absolutely popular questions that may not be searched as much, but you see that people are interested in finding answers, and you have those answers. Create that content. Ask your newsletter subscribers what they want to know about a topic or a problem, what problems they have. When you're on client calls like we are, on regular client calls, we always ask clients, what else would you like to know about the topic? What else would you like us to discuss on these events or our private client educational events? And we record those questions and we cover them in content. And that's when you start not going crazy about SEO keywords and you start talking more to your audience through your site. That's when that long tail traffic, no Ahrefs or SEMrush know about those keywords because they're not as high search volume. Even Google doesn't know 10% of yearly search queries because there are always new queries that Google had never seen. And of course, those platforms that you're using don't know about those. But that's how you know about them. You talk to your audience and you create content around them. And when you start doing that, then your ranking portfolio is much more diverse because you don't just depend on those searchable keywords. There are lots of search queries that, yes, they are not as high traffic. They don't send so many clicks as high search volume keywords, but because there's a variety of them, you get the same amount of organic traffic. And if you lose one of them, if you lose some positions for one of them, it's fine because it doesn't send as huge percent of traffic to your site as those keywords. I was looking at a lot of websites that were hit by helpful content updates, and they're always one thing in common. They're out of the whole site, 3, 5, maybe 10 or max pages were sending traffic. That's why it was so easy to lose. That's why when a site ranks for a variety of search queries, it's not easy to lose because Google would hit one page and it's fine. You will survive with the 99% of your other ranking portfolio. But when you have only 5 pages driving traffic from organic search, Google hits 4 of them, that's when you lose 90% of your traffic. So don't just focus on SEO when creating content strategy. Talk to your audience, and not just to your audience, but also on social media followers or communities or Twitter chats, or just be there. That's how you start understanding what your audience really wants and how to serve them better through content. I'm tired of talking. I hope you have questions, but those are 2 important steps. None of them is easy. None of them is quick. None of them is a shortcut to SEO traffic. But that's when you're serious about your site. That's what you should start doing because Google updates will never end. Google will always try to elevate some sites and derank other sites. But if you are serious about your brand, about your backlinks, and about talking to your audience and serving them through your content, that's when the ranking portfolio is much more consistent and stable.
We have a few questions in the audience, but I wanted to talk a little bit about like how you mentioned the interviews and stuff, because I've built like a few brands from scratch, but we have one particular brand that I've like been working on for 10 years or more now. They've navigated like all the updates like perfectly well because they have such a strong brand, and I built them like from zero basically. Some of the things that I did were because like now they're an influencer in their industry, but they obviously didn't start out that way. But like to build up to that, some of the things that I did were interview influencers. Like people love to be asked questions. People love to feel important. Your audience loves to feel important, like you're listening to them and you're interested in them. So like you appeal to their, I don't want to say appeal to their egos, but like just make people feel good. Like your brand can like just use your platform to make others feel good, and that can be really beneficial for you and for everybody in the community. So I conducted a lot of interviews, industry relevant interviews, and I published those on like their blog, and that they would share, and that would get the brand's name out, and participate in a ton of like Twitter chats. And I would take like really great quotes from the Twitter chats said by different people and like make like images of them and share them, and they would share that, and that would spread around. And it's all just like engage with others. Like it's definitely a slow process, but it gets more and more fun the more like just have to have fun with it and just be a kind presence. Just kindness goes a long way.
One thing I need to make a quick note here. It is a slow process, but it also depends on how active you are, how much
Mhm.
time you have to dedicate for that. Took me probably 1 year in the SEO industry to get really comfortable in it, like to get really known. But within 2 months of when I started my blog was like 2 months old at that point. I joined a few communities and few forums. Some of them banned me because I had no idea what I was doing, but some of them were like still like home to me. And within 2 months, people started talking to me, knowing me, recognizing me, following me, inviting me to interviews, inviting me to write for their sites. So it definitely depends on your industry, about how actively social media works there, on what channels you have there, and also how much time you can dedicate to that. It is doable. It is doable if you get serious about that. It is really, really doable to start from scratch and build. Maybe it wouldn't be a Google entity within a year, but it definitely will be a personal brand, a recognizable personal brand that is trusted and has peers talking to, influencers networking. So it is very doable, and it is very beneficial for fresh backlinks coming your way, fresh signals, searches, branded searches. I still, throughout my whole career in SEO, and it has been 20 years, I've only depended on my branded search. That was always the biggest business driver for me, the branded search, so that I don't really depend on other Google search queries that much because I switch through project to project. But my branded search has always been the most beneficial asset to my or to any business that I have. So that is the goal. That is the goal, really. And we have quite a few great, really questions that I'm seeing, and one is: should you avoid quick gains altogether, or should you combine it with long-term strategies? You should combine, for sure. And the more you work on long-term strategies, the easier it will be to get quick gains by just a little bit tweaking of your site or targeting a keyword for a landing page. Yes, absolutely. If those quick gains are not against Google spam policies, which is like creating dozens or hundreds of AI or automated content to your site to target some queries, that is not okay. That is a quick gain, but it is not good for long-term visibility of the site. So as long as those quick gains, and we will be discussing some low-hanging fruit opportunities in a week from PopCon. I think I have that newsletter already prepared for you. So we will be discussing those quick gains that are not against Google policies very soon. So keep a bit, stay tuned to our channel. So we will be definitely discussing them. Yes, quick gains are great as long as they follow Google's policies. So we will be discussing them in a week or two. How can businesses adapt their SEO strategies to accommodate evolving search algorithms and emerging technologies like AI and voice search? You do not. SEO doesn't need to be adapted as much. If you target, like I said, I've been an SEO for 20 years. I have been relying on my brand for all those 20 years, throughout all the ups and downs of my sites or through all the penalties. I did half a manual penalty 10 years ago from Google, and I survived because I had a brand. So you do not try to be very adaptive. If Google says, hey, today I don't know, make apples, that's how you earn rankings, you ignore that. If you focus on fundamentals, building your brand, building great links to your brand, because those add long-term trust and reputation and traffic channels as well, and you talk to your audience instead of just looking at keywords. And it's always been like that. If you do these three things, Yes, there are other things to do, of course, but if you focus on these long-term benefits, you don't have to really be adaptive that much to whatever happens to SEO. You will be findable everywhere with any AI bots, I don't know, AI overviews. If you focus on those fundamentals from day one or right now, and start looking at SEO not as the way to get free traffic tomorrow, but as a way to grow your business gradually and consistently. And that's when branding and talking to your audience are really important, and has always been like that.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that like AI and voice search are still using the internet to generate answers, and the internet's still influenced by SEO and branding and all that. So it's just an extra step basically, but the principles are
Exactly.
the
And if
same.
you are on those, I know AI is using social media a lot, like social media context. Google is using Reddit to understand real people talking about real things. But you don't have to, if you are there in your niche communities, you already findable. You already, if you stand out, especially as a personal brand and people know you and follow you, interact with you, you will be found no matter what happens to SEO or AI search going forward. What about trends for keywords and topics? Always great. um, Especially like, the thing is, I don't know how many in SEO realize that, but SEO data is usually 1 year old, because Google does reveal things, 1 month old, depending on which tool you're using, but it's never as fresh. So if you search for something in Google does show you fresh content, but they don't know much about trending keywords yet. So using Google Trends is great to see what's picking up. Figuring it out, it's not easy really to figure out. I know Search for Rent Fishkin, he shows how to use Google Trends to understand which states reacted to Taylor Swift's Instagram post most, and how to use Google Trends for that. Very great case study, not for politics overall, but for understanding the value of that tool and how you can utilize it to create more trending and up-to-date and timely content. But really, being within the community, like I'm an SEO, I have a very few but very active sites that I use and network with, have connections that deliver news. I don't have to really use Google Trends to understand what's going on in SEO. That's the value, also the value of being an active part of the community. If you are there talking to real people on a daily basis, retweeting them, commenting on their Facebook post or LinkedIn post, resharing what they say, you already know all the trending keywords you need. And that's where trending and timely content comes from, when you know this is what our community is currently interested in. And I will not just report on those news, I will also add my experience, my thoughts, my opinion. I may also ask known influencers for their perspective on that trend and include it in my article. And then I tweet it and tag all those influencers, and they will retweet it and they will link to it. So it's being part of the community is really key in most industries, even if it's very boring industry. And yes, they may not have those influencers, but then there are local events you can go to, and that's also networking. It's not always social media influence. It's also working with local brands or small brands or compatible brands that you can partner with. So it's always not being an island and over focusing on keywords. It also being part of the community, however, whatever it takes. Okay, I think we are past. We even have a comment from YouTube. I think we are past our time now. I will not hold you more, because we are all busy people. It's time or past time for lunch. I will look through all our social media channels that we were broadcasting that to, and try to answer any questions that we couldn't answer here. If you have ideas for future broadcasts, if there are questions that you want to answered, Please let us know. We love feedback. We follow our own advice. We talk to our community, and we try to answer and interact as much as we can, because that's how we build our own agency marketing. We don't do cold outreaches. We don't do anything like that. We only depend on being part of the community and being seen there. Thank you so much. See you next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST, discussing some other exciting topic. I forgot which one, but trust me, it will be valuable and very time sensitive. And subscribe to my newsletter over at ansmarty.com. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.